It's live,
live
in the D with Mr.
BB.
BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr.BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, we are blessed. We are blessed to be here. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Live in the D with Mr.BB. Let me get this set straight here. All right. We thank you for joining us this morning. Today we have two very special guests for you. We have Miss Tenille Glass, who is the owner and retailer of a store called Shy versus Bold, and she's joining us via Skype this morning to talk about her clothing line, her clothing store and the brand and all the things she's doing, as well as joining us all the way. Flew in just to see us from Fayette, Mississippi. We have the Dawuud Muhammad, also known as the IDoctor. His business is Device Services, IDoctor Device Services, and he'll be joining us and talking to us a little bit about his business and some of the things that he does right here on Live in the D with Mr.BB. But before we get into that, as always, we have to say good morning to our squad. So without further ado, I'm going to say good morning to the squad, starting with Mr. Abdul. Good morning, Mr. Abdul.
Good morning. You're watching Live in the D with Mr. Abdul.
All right. Live in the D with Mr. Abdul. And next up, we're going to say good morning to Our Lady of Positivity, who's always giving us those wonderful quotes and positive, inspirational things and an event for the weekend, I'm sure, as always, Miss Kadira. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. BB. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's a little chilly outside, but it's not as bad. I'm excited about our guests.
Yes, our two
Miss
very special
her
guests.
Boutique and IDoctor Repair Services.
Yes, IDoctor Repair Services and Miss Tenille Glass of Shy versus Bold Boutique. We're going to talk to both of them this morning. Right after this, you are Live in the D with Mr.BB. Stay with us.
It's live in the D with Mr.
BB.
BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr.BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
All right, we are back. We are back. You are still sitting live in the D with Mr.BB. We are now joined by Miss Tenille Glass, owner of Shy versus Bold Boutique inside of the Fisher Theater and on Grand Boulevard in Detroit, Michigan. And we are joined with her now via Skype.
Good morning. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you this morning?
Good. So yeah, my name's Tenille, and I'm doing well. Hello?
Yes, tell us a little bit about your store and your brand, Shy versus Bold.
Okay, so I started Shy versus Bold a couple years ago. I was kind of based doing like pop-ups and things like that. And Shy versus Bold is just a play on the fact that in society, sometimes we have to wear two faces. Sometimes we are a little bit more conservative, and then other times we're a bit more outgoing. So it's just a little play on words, and just sometimes the way you want to express yourself. So sometimes you want to be conservative in dresses. Sometimes you want to be a little bit more outlandish and more bold. So that's where Shy versus Bold came from. So with my brand, I directly source unique items from all over the world. So I travel a lot, and that's kind of what led me to starting this brand. Is that through my travels, I've made contacts with wholesalers, manufacturers, and I've decided to bring back some of the unique styles that I've seen on my trips to Europe and Asia.
Awesome, awesome. What made you want to go into retail?
Well, retail, it's a tough business, especially with all of the competition online. But with the resurgence of Detroit, I think that now is a good time to get back into retail in Detroit.
Right.
With a lot of businesses coming in, uh, it just seemed like an opportune time. And also, Detroit needs a lot of stuff. We're pretty much rebuilding a lot of businesses that were decimated years ago. So I said, why not throw my hat into the ring and try it out and see how it goes. I also have an online store, which I'm working on adding more items to. So eventually I'll be doing a combination of the two, brick and mortar retail in addition to online sales.
Awesome, awesome. So do you have a background in fashion and retail? How did this come about?
Well, years ago, I actually worked in a leather store. Um, I'm from Ontario, so there was a big leather store called Danier Leather. So that's where I really cut my teeth working in high-end retail. Also, when I was in high school, I worked in a clothing store. And I think pretty much I have a PhD in shopping. I'm a reformed, I'm in recovery right now for being a shopaholic. So I
Okay.
love to shop, love to source unique things. So I thought, you know what, why not try to kind of turn it around and provide others with unique items? And that's how I started.
Awesome, awesome. So you're basically self-educated in the retail business? Like, okay, you were in the leather store and then you kind of just went on from there to do your own thing and it's through trial and error that you learn?
So working in retail at the store, I learned how to interact with customers, use a cash register, deal with inventory and things like that. And I kind of started to get into the business. I took a couple trips to New York, and I went to the wholesale district, and I kind of learned the ropes. And that's just the way how I am. I would take a trip somewhere, do a bit of research beforehand, and now it's a lot easier with the internet. Like you can pretty much find out all that you need on the internet. Back in the day when I was going, I would just go to a place and just hit the ground running and go into places and talk to people.
Right.
So I started going to these wholesalers, purchasing items, and just kind of selling it to, friends and family. And then from that, I kind of grew into actually starting a real business. And then I started to take some trips to China and made contacts there and got into, selling pearls and things of that nature. And so once you start to make the contacts, it's really not that difficult to get into doing this.
All right, all right. So, what are some of the hardships that you did have, even though it wasn't that hard after you got started, with becoming an entrepreneur, especially with retail being such a competitive business?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I would say what I'm going through right now. So I'm trying to, establish my brand in Detroit. So it just takes time, for people to get to know you. I'm located in a space that I share with another business, and we are located in the lower level of the Fisher building. So, because of the location, it's a little bit difficult in terms of traffic. So, we're just working on trying to get for people to know that we are located there. Because once people do come in, they're like surprised. They're like, "Oh, I never knew there was a store down here," and I really like the things that you have. So it's just getting the word out there. That's a challenge.
Right?
Um, and it's also a shift for me because I've worked a 9 to 5 job for years, like most people do, and now I'm trying to step out in faith and do this business as my job. So it's gonna take some time to build it up to a point, to replace the income that I had before.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's like something that I'm working on for myself and I'm pursuing my passion. So I think there is a payoff there. So those are just some of the challenges, just to kind of get your name out there and for people to see value in what you're doing because they are distracted. You can just go online and get anything that you want, but people need to realize also that when you come to a brick and mortar, you get a chance to, see, touch, and feel, and be able to try on, the clothing item. And online, a lot of times you order things and they look great in a picture. And when you get it, it's like, oh, this is garbage. But then you can't return it, so you're stuck with it. So I think people need to see value in being able to come into a brick and mortar, also to come in and support a local small business, a woman-owned business, and a black-owned business. So I think all of that should factor in when people make their decisions on spending their money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. So how can we support you on social media and online for those people and that don't know that you're just downstairs in the Fisher Theater building? How can we support you and find you?
Okay, so my business is Shy versus Mold, so ShyVSVOLD. And I have a website, so it's www.shyversusbold.com. I'm located in Suite C9 of the Fisher building. So, usually in a building you see B for basement, but in the Fisher it's the concourse level. So when you hit that elevator button, you have to hit the C. So we're downstairs, and I'm also on Instagram. So it's Shy versus Bold and the number 1. So Shy versus Bold 1. And that's how you would find me.
Okay, and well, one of the last questions: what are your store hours and yeah, what are your store hours and times, and how can we and your phone number?
Okay. So my store hours, I'm open Mondays I'm closed, Tuesday by appointment, and Wednesday it's from 12:30 until 4:30. On Thursdays it's from 11 until 6:30. Fridays from 11 until 7, and we're open also on Saturdays, so from 11 until 5. And if you need to call me, my number is 248-469-8140. So 248-469-8140.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Mrs. Glass, for coming on with us today and joining us and talking to us about your store and your business and giving us a little bit of insight on the process of retail. But do you have any upcoming events before we let you go?
We don't have anything for this month, but I have a speaker series actually with